Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the words of the Mesillas Yesharim. We left off yesterday in this very profound and powerful line, where he writes, "Halamadata." We learn from all of the above. She'ein hayira garemes she'is atzel. It's not that one's fear and concern for the elements of this world are what cause a person to become lazy. Ela atzla garemes loy she'is yarei. Rather, it's the laziness that causes a person to be fearful of what is going on. Meaning that a person that's a Beiteich B'Hashem, someone who trusts in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, someone who has emunah, they have their faith intact properly. They know that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with them, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to protect them, and we have to do our ishtadlus, we have to make our efforts, we don't put ourselves into dangerous situations, we don't put our lives at risk, we don't rely upon miracles to save us from foolish things that a person does. That's all true. Nevertheless, and notwithstanding, when it comes to basic actions and hanhaga and the way in which a person is going to maneuver himself through this world, so as long as a person is acting normally, so they have nothing to be misiyah, they have nothing to fear. If a person does exhibit fear and concern and worry and anxiety, and they're afraid of the elements of the world and the events around them and the situations they might find themselves in, so the Ramchal writes over here so poignantly, it's not because you are justified in the fear that you have, rather because ultimately you're lazy and you don't want to do things and you don't want to progress and you don't want to be involved in actions that will require effort and energy and time and resources. That's why you feign the fear and the anxiety and the concern and the worry that you proclaim that you have. So it's really, if a person would peel away the layers of themselves and they would begin to ask, why am I so anxious right now? Why am I so worried? What am I so afraid of? A person, in many cases, again, it's not all cases, but in many of these cases where there is self-imagined concern that a person has, they'll recognize that it's really just my lack of enthusiasm or my lack of desire to go and to do a mitzvah or to go to shul or to learn the Torah or to do a chesed or to take the person down the street where they have to go or to give the tzedakah that they're asking me to come and get involved with. There's so many reasons behind why I do what I do, and the Ramchal is asking of a person just to examine themselves honestly to know what's the motivating force behind it all. Everything we mentioned, our everyday challenges of life, they testify about the truth of this. That most people already are aware of, that this is the foolish way in which they go, and they know it. If you press them, you put them up against the wall, and you say, why didn't you come to this shir tonight? Why didn't you go to the minyan? Why didn't you give tzedakah to that person who was standing at your door over there? Why didn't you do the chesed and help another person? Why this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you do that? If you'll press the person, they'll admit that in their foolishness, their laziness, and their inability to get off the couch or to want to get off the chair or to want to get out of the house and to go and drive in the early morning or the late at night to go make a minyan or the like, that's what was doing it. Umaskil al davar yimsa emes la'amitai, and a person who will wisen up over here, and they will find the absolute truth, vidas lenovai nokel, and it will be easy for them to understand and to see the error of their ways. And of course, once that a person recognizes it, then they can begin to make corrections. I have described, says the Ramchal, all of the concepts over here of zvizus, of being zealous and alacritous and quick in your actions, in a way that I think, he says, is enough leha'ares halev, to awaken and to arouse one's heart, to realize just how much we have to work on quickening up the pace of our bodily parts, of our actions, getting involved, getting excited and motivated to do mitzvahs. Ve'achacham yecham, and a wise person will become even wiser. Ve'yosef lekach, and he will take more teaching to inculcate into his life, to process, to be able to realize just how imperative it is to be a person of zrizus and not chalila to fall into the trap of atzlus, of laziness. For once that a person is living a life of laziness, all of these terrible things will come as a result: the worry, the fear, the anxiety, the lackluster, the lack of enthusiasm, not producing, not trying, not having the ruts and the desire to achieve and to accomplish the tasks of life. And therefore, well, let's give ourselves the benefit of the doubt and say that we all desire wisdom, so we'll call ourselves to some degree a chacham, a wise person. Will increase our wisdom as we begin to learn and to imbue these ideas and these concepts into our daily life. Have a wonderful day.